Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you, Nitesh Prabhu, for choosing me for today's Caritamrta study class. So, thank you very much, Hare Krishna Prabhu, for a wonderful Kirtan, for setting the stage. Today, it's going to be a very important session, very important pastime we are going to discuss here. We will continue from where Prabhu has left last week. We'll discuss from Caritamrta, Adilila, chapter 17, from text 252 onwards. So I'll read out some of the important verses and all the translations from 252 to 274. Then we'll straight away discuss about the beautiful pastime of Lord Chaitanya taking sannyasa today. Chaitanya Charitamrta, Adilila, chapter 17, text 252. प्रभुरे शांताकारी अनिला निज घरे पादुया पालाय गेला पादुया sabhare. Translation. The devotees pacified the Lord and brought him home, and the student ran away to an assembly of other students. Text 253. Paduya sahasrayaha pade ekatani prabhura vrittanta dvija kaheta tahatyani yai. Translation. The Brahmana student ran to a place where the thousands of students were studying together. There he described the incident to them. Hitesh Babu, can please control the audio of others. I made you co-host. Text 254, translation. Hearing of the incident, all the students became greatly angry and joined together in criticizing the Lord. Text 255. Nimai Pandita alone has spoiled the entire country, they accused. He wants to strike a caste Brahmana. He has no fear of religious principles. Text 256. If he again performs such an atrocious act, certainly we shall retaliate and strike him in turn. What kind of important person is he that he can check us in this way? Text 257. Prabhura nindaya sabara buddhi haila nasa supatita vidya karo na haya prakasha. Translation. When all the students thus resolved criticizing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their intelligence was spoiled. Thus, although they were learned scholars, because of this offense, the essence of knowledge was not manifested in them. Text 258. But the proud student community did not become submissive. On the contrary, the students spoke of the incident anywhere and everywhere. In a laughing manner, they criticized the Lord. Text 259. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being omniscient, could understand the degradation of these students. Thus, he sat at home contemplating how to rescue them. Text 261. If I do not induce them to take to devotional service because of committing the offense of blasphemy, none of these people will be able to take it. Text 262. Nistarite ali ailama ami haila viparita esaba durjanera kaiche he ibekahita. Translation. I have come to deliver all the fallen souls, but now just the opposite has happened. How can these rogues be delivered? How may they be benefited? Text 263. If these rogues offer me obeisances, the reactions of their sinful activities will be nullified. Then, if I induce them, they will take to devotional service. Text 264. I must certainly deliver all these fallen souls who blaspheme me and do not offer me obeisances. Text 265. Ata eva avashya ami sanyasa kariba sanyasi buddhe more pranata haiba. Translation. I shall accept the sannyasa order of life, for thus people will offer me their obeisances, thinking of me as a member of the renounced order. Text 266. Offering obeisances will relieve them of all the reactions to their offenses. Then, by my grace, devotional service, bhakti will awaken in their pure hearts. Text 267. All the unfaithful rogues of this world can be delivered by this process. There is no alternative. This is the essence of the argument. Text 268. After coming to this firm conclusion, the Lord continued to stay at home. In the meantime, Keshabharati came to the town of Nadia. Text 269. The Lord offered him respectful obeisances and invited him to the house. After feeding him sumptuously, he submitted to him his petition. Text 270. Sir, you are directly Narayana. Therefore, please be merciful unto me. Deliver me from this material bondage. Text 271. भारती कहे न तुम्ही ईश्वर अंतर्यामी ये कराह से करीबा स्वतंत्र नहीं आमी. Keshavarthi replied to the Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul. I must do whatever you cause me to do. I am not independent of you. Text 272. Eta bali bharati gosani kato yate agela Mahaprabhu taha yai sanyasa karila. After saying this, Keshav Bharati, the spiritual master, went back to his village, Katwa. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there and accepted renounced order of life, sannyasa. Text 273. Sanghe Nityananda Chandrasekhara Acharya Mukunda Datta Etina Kaile Sarva Karya. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyasa, three personalities were with him to perform all the necessary activities. They were Nityananda Prabhu, Chandrasekhar Acharya, and Mukunda Datta. Text 274. Ei Adilila Kaila Sutra Ganana Vistari Varnila Iha Dasa Vrindavana. Translation. Thus, I have summarized the incidents of Adilila. Srila Vrindavananda Sakura has described them elaborately in his Chaitanya Bhagavat. Om Tats Om Ajnanandimnandasya Jnananjana Salakhe Chakshurmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminitanamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. So this is a wonderful pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepting sannyasa. So last week, His Grace Nityananda Prabhu has spoken about how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was completely engrossed in the mood of Gopi Bhav, and he was completely into Krishna Lila, and he was chanting the names of Gopi, of Gopis of Vrindavana. So that moment, a student came and he was kind of telling Lord Chaitanya Prabhu that what you are doing is wrong. You should chant the name of Krishna. Why are you chanting the name of a Gopi? This is not as per the scriptures. Vedas didn't recommend this. So he was not aware of who Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is. So then Chaitanya Prabhu was very angry and he was trying to check this student. by chasing him with a stick in his hand. So that's where Chaitanya Prabhu has ended the last week's session. So this is a Leela of this all arrangement by the Lord himself, that the student came, because it's a time for Lord to uh, display his the real pastimes of the purpose of his appearance in this material world as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now the whole drama is being set for the Lord to uh, show his real purpose of appearance to the whole world. So as part of this pastime, the student had to come and kind of a chastise Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he came, and actually, in fact, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in a different moods most of the times. Like he was completely engrossed in meditating various pastimes. Sometimes he gets into the pastime of Balram. He assumes himself as Balram. Sometimes he assumes himself as Pradyumna, son of Krishna. All this detailed explanation about this particular pastime is explained by Vrindavan Thakura in Chaitanya Bhagavata. So today's discussion is more from Chaitanya Bhagavata, because as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami himself has mentioned that since all these detailed pastimes were given in Chaitanya Bhagavata by Vrindavan Thakura, so he is not narrating those pastimes in Chaitanya Caritamrta. So I corrected some of the pastimes from Chaitanya Bhagavata and consolidating them, and we'll discuss at appropriate places. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as I mentioned, most of the times he gets engrossed into different pastimes of Krishna Leela. So sometimes he assumes himself as a Pradyumna, sometimes as a Balram, and as a Balram he was chastising Krishna, serving Krishna. So he was talking to Mother Rohini. So all these things, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he gets into that mood. The same way, one day he get into the mood of gopis of gopas of Vrindavana, and then they were Gopa was son of one coward boy. He would get into mood of a coward boy, and then he started calling the names of gopis. So that moment, this student had come to Chaitanya Prabhu's place, and then he got very upset, angry with Chaitanya Prabhu. And then he was telling Lord Chaitanya Prabhu that why are you chanting the names of Gopi? He didn't understand what mood Lord is into. So this particular pastime was enacted by the Lord for a specific purpose, which we are going to see. So then Lord appeared to be angry externally. Internally, he was very happy that, okay, now the time has come for him to reveal the real purpose of his appearance. But externally, he appeared to be very angry. And then he started chasing this Brahmana boy with a stick in his hand, and he said, you don't understand the real purpose of scriptures. So he started chasing the boy, and boy ran away. The Brahmana boy ran away, and as we just heard from the translations of Srila Prabhupada, that that Brahmana boy ran to the assembly of other students, other Brahmana students, who were all assembled together and studying the Vedas. So he went and complained to them that this person, Nimai Pandita, so he thinks himself as a great personality, and he's spoiling the religious principles. He's chanting the names of Gopi and all this stuff, and instead of chanting names of Krishna, Narayana, so then all of them were very angry. So they said, "This is the last time we are giving an opportunity for him. Next time, if he repeats this, so we'll also retaliate. He thinks that he's a great personality. We'll show him what we are." So this news has reached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As we saw, as we heard in all the translations up to 267, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was thinking that, oh my God, what happened? The very purpose of my appearance was to deliver all these conditioned souls. But in fact, what I'm doing is I'm making them more offensive. I'm making them more conditioned. And what is the way for them to get delivered from this miseries of material world? So then he was meditating, and he finally decided that there is no other way than for me to take up sannyasa, and then so that these people uh, they will surrender to me, and then they get delivered, because he knows, because those during those days the people used to give a lot of respect to the sannyasis, so they can't like the way these Brahmana boys were trying to check out Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and offend Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities. So they will not do with a sannyasi. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's purpose, intention was that once they start accepting, once they start giving respect to him as a sannyasi, then they will start hearing to him, they will start listening to him, and it becomes easy for him to react his pastimes. So this was a compassion of the Lord. Out of compassion, Lord has decided that he takes the sannyasa. So in verse 267, as we saw, Isaba pasandira tabe he ibe nisthara are ara kona upaya nahi ye yukta sara. So here he says that all the unfaithful rogues of this world can be delivered by this process. There is no alternative. This is the essence of the argument. So between this verse and the next verse, which is 268, where we heard, after coming to this firm conclusion, Lord continued to stay at home. In the meantime, Keshav Bharati came to the town of Nadia. So in between, actually, these two verses, lots and lots of pastimes have happened. And all these pastimes were covered by Vrindavan Thakura in Chaitanya Bhagavata. So I will briefly discuss those pastimes so that when Lord has decided that he should take sannyasa, and finally he meets Keshav Bharati, and then the process of sannyasa starts from there. In between, what had happened, how Lord has convinced all his associates and Mother Sachi Devi for him to take sannyasa. So those wonderful pastimes and discussions we are going to hear from Vrindavan Thakura from Chaitanya Bhagavata. So when Lord Chaitanya Prabhu has decided that he should take sannyasa out of compassion to deliver all these conditioned souls who have been doing lots and lots of offenses to the Vaishnavas, and he was wondering, he was concerned that my purpose of coming to this material world will not be fulfilled if these people are continue to offend. All these days they were not respecting is one thing, but now they started offending. So Lord concern was more on the other offenses. He don't want them to continue to do the offenses, so that he can um enact his pastimes of spreading the holy name of the Lord around the world. So when he decided to take sannyas, so he has to reveal this to his associates first, then to Mother Sachi. So he was looking for an opportunity. or he is trying to create an opportunity to discuss about his decision, convey his decision to the all the associates and take their permission. So one day he was sitting with all the associates, um, and they were discussing Krishna Katha, doing Kirtan. So at the end of the session, he said, uh, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke something. He said that it was something strange for all the associates, even to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who was there with him. He said, uh, he mentioned that I made the medicine of Pipalikhanda to clear the excess mucus, but instead of clearing the mucus in the body, it created more. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that he created he made some medicine. He made some medicine which is called Pipalikanda. So that medicine purpose was to clear the mucus in the throat, so that it can cure the cough and other diseases. But instead of clearing this mucus, he said that that medicine has aggravated the mucus in the body. So after saying this, the Lord all of suddenly started laughing loudly. The devotees could not understand why he was laughing, and they are all very anxious. And they could not understand why Lord was talking about this medicine and the cure which he was talking about. So then all the devotees have left, all the associates have left the place, and Lord Nityananda Prabhu was there. He wanted to inquire from the Lord about his mood. He was very concerned. He had actually feeling that Lord is trying to take some decisions. So he was very much concerned. So then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took him aside, took him to a solitary place. Then he opened up his heart. He said, My dear Nityananda, I came to deliver the living entities of this world. I could not deliver them, and it appears that I came to destroy them. So my purpose of appearance is not being fulfilled, my dear Lord, my dear Nityananda. So instead of delivering these people, I am spoiling them even more. I'm destroying them even more. They are becoming even more conditioned, more offensive. All these days they were conditioned, but now they're becoming more offensive, and no way that they will be able to get delivered. So this way, I will be failing in my purpose of appearing in this material world. So when Lord Nityananda told this and he explained everything what had happened, then finally he said that I have no other option than taking up sannyas, so that these people who are very offensive to me, they will pay obeisances. The very moment they pay obeisances to me, all their offenses get nullified. To see the compassion. So Lord is showing them a way how to get out of the offenses what they have committed. Completely surrender. Surrender to a pure devotee of the Lord. Even the external, Lord was ready to accept them, even their external surrender. Even by heart, they are not even surrendering. Lord was okay with that particular moment. He said, somehow I want to deliver them. I want to give an opportunity for everyone. Then he says, as a sannyasi, I will soon wander from door to door, begging, let me see then who beats me and who chastises me and who offends me. He was very sure that people will not offend a sannyasi. And he said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continue to say to Nityananda, that I have thus revealed my heart to you. I will certainly give up this household life. I will do whatever you want, but you know the purpose of my incarnation. If you want the world to be delivered, I hope you will not forbid me from taking sannyas. So this Lord has told, and he kept quiet. And imagine the condition of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Completely shattered. Completely shattered. Rather, he was expecting that something like this, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is going to take a decision. The moment he heard about the riddle, which he told that I made a medicine to cure the mucus, so and Lord Nityananda Prabhu is is having a clarity now that what is intention of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu behind telling that riddle. Then Lord Nityananda Prabhu said, my dear Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are an independent personality. Who can stop you? Whatever decisions you take, it is you are completely independent. You are Satantra. So you can do whatever you want. Though internally he was so shackled and so shattered, and he was completely collapsing, but still he told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, my dear Lord, you are independent personality. You will do whatever you want. Then he said, you inform all your other associates and then inform Mother Sachi Devi and then proceed with your plan. Then very long pastime it happened between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then other associates of the Lord. So he went one after other. Many of his confidential associates, and he told them that he is going to shave his head and sacrifice the Brahmanical thread and accept Ekadanda, the sannyas ashram. When this they heard, associates they heard about this, they are completely shattered. They could not take this news from Lord Chaitanya. They were all crying heavily. They were begging Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya Prabhu explained them real purpose of his appearance, and this is the time for him to enact the pastime. So one by one, he met all his associates, and a lot of discussion happened between them. I'm not going into that because it's a very detailed discussion was given by Nas Thakura in there's one separate chapter is there. Lord pacifies feelings of separation. One separate chapter is there in Chaitanya Bhagavata, which uh, highlights how Lord Chaitanya Prabhu he pacified the feelings of separation, which being experienced by his associates. So then Lord Chaitanya Prabhu has what he has done is that he has revealed to the devotees some of the confidential facts that he met and discussed with very confidential devotees, not every associate, confidential associates he met, and he revealed the very confidential facts that who he was or who he is and who these associates were in the past life. And he told them that you have been my eternal associates. And whenever I come to this material world in a different incarnations, you appear along with me to assist me in the past tense. And now you have appeared along with me in this material world to take part in this particular pastime of spreading the holy name of the Lord, the Sankirtan Yajna. And when Lord has explained, Lord has revealed some of the confidential facts to the associates of the Lord. So they, with a heavy heart, they all accepted and allowed Lord to take sannyas. So then now the time for Mother Sachi. So the news has reached Mother Sachi from most the many associations of the Lord and residents of Nadia, and she was completely collapsed. She has no, she could not see the Lord and talk to him though he was her own son, she could not go in front of him because she was so much feeling morose, and she was trying to control herself. She already lost her elder son who took sannyas, and then she lost her husband, Jagannath Mishra, who left this material world. And the only one who she has is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Nimai Pandita. And then now he is also planning to take sannyas. So then it is a pastime which we are going to discuss. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting in home, he was in a very good mood, and Mother Sachi has observed his mood, and she came in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and she has opened up the topic. Then she said, "My dear son, how can you leave me alone? Is this what your scripture says, that a person can leave mother who has no other uh, support in the home to take care of her, and leave her and take sannyas? Which scripture talks about this, my dear son? What you are doing is not correct. Please change your decision. I cannot tolerate this." Then Lord Chaitanya Prabhu has again revealed the most confidential facts to her. And he told, all this were beautifully explained by Nandas Thakura in Chaitanya Bhagavata. He said, "My dear mother, listen to me very carefully. In your previous life, you had appeared as Krishna, and I born as a Krishna Garbha in your womb. Krishna Garbha is the same personality who appeared in front of Dhruva Maharaj. Those who heard or who read um, what is that scripture? I forgot. So there it is very detailed explanation was given about various incarnations of the Lord, how Lord had appeared as Krishna Garbha and who given boons to Dhruva Maharaj, who appeared in front of Dhruva Maharaj, Krishna Garbha. So he said, Lord has reminded Mother Sachi that I appeared in your womb as a Krishna Garbha, and you were Krishna, and my father was Sutapa. So that was your first, my first incarnation from your womb, and then you also appeared as Aditi, and I appeared in your womb as Vamandev, and also you appeared again as Devahuti, and I took birth from your womb as Kapildev, and you also appeared as Mother Kaushalya, and I took birth from your womb as Lord Ramachandra, and then you also appeared as Devaki in my Krishna Leela, and I appeared from your womb. Now, my dear mother, this is my incarnation. I appeared from your womb as Nimai Pandita, and this incarnation have a very specific purpose of spreading the holy name of the Lord to regain all the conditioned souls from this material world. And what you are doing is a particular pastime as per my plan. So please accept this plan and allow me to take sannyas. And he also said that this is not going to be end of the incarnation from your womb, my dear mother. I am going to take two more incarnations from you. So what those two more incarnations we'll see. Then he said that in this way, you are my mother, birth after birth. There is never any separation between you and me. So you don't worry, my dear mother. Every time I continue to take incarnations from your womb, and you are eternally, you are there as my mother. So there is no question of separation. This is only a pastime. And he said, I have sincerely disclosed this to you so that you should not feel any more grief. So then Lord has convinced her mother. Mother Sachi was almost inert. She was completely collapsed. And she has no words to, though she understood the real intentions of the Lord, real pastimes of the Lord, but still as a mother, she started feeling separation even before that happened. And finally, the day has come. Lord has left Nadia and went to Katwa. So when this happened, most of the associates were not aware that Lord was leaving that day. So when the morning, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is left Katwa, which is Katwa, I'm sure most of you have visited, those who went to Mayapur, all visited Katwa, which is about an hour and a half drive from Mayapur. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is left in the morning hours, then other associates who all came to see the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his house, they saw Mother Sachi was sitting in the doorsteps, and she was literally in her tears. She completely collapsed and sitting there, was crying like anything. They asked, what happened? Oh, my mother, why are you sitting at the doorway? She was unable to reply. And the tears were flowing from her eyes. Then she said, please listen, all of you. The Vaishnavas are eligible to share the Lord's property. You may all distribute the items he has left among yourselves. The Shastras declare that those items belong to you. So be satisfied. Do as you please, and then let me go from here. So that he has indirectly told all of them that Lord is no more in the house, and he left because they're all aware. Most of them were all aware that Lord was planning to take sannyas, but they were not knowing that he already left or he lived so early. So when the associates, the devotees, they heard of Lord's departure, they collapsed and they fell unconscious on the ground. And they started crying heavily. So finally, uh, the time has come and Lord Chaitanya Prabhu has reached Katwa. And now the process of his sannyas, accepting sannyas, starts from here. So now the Thakura says that please listen to this description of Lord's acceptance of sannyasa. Hearing this narration will destroy one's bondage resulting from fruitive activities. So Lord Chaitanya Prabhu's wonderful pastime he is going to enact, because this is a base for him to start his pastime of spreading the holy name of the Lord. So now Sakura says that whoever hears this pastime of Lord accepting sannyasasana will destroy one's bondage resulting from fruitive activity. So Lord Chaitanya Prabhu crosses Ganges and arrive at Katwa. It's called Kantaka Nagara. Katwa. So, along with his intimate associates, the Lord, like a maddened lion, arrived there to meet Keshav Bharati. Upon seeing the Lord's wonderful bodily effulgence, the pious Keshav Bharati stood up. So now, Keshav Bharati, who is Keshav Bharati? We are going to discuss why Lord has accepted sannyas from a sannyasi of Shankaracharya's uh, lineage. Why he didn't take sannyas from Vaishnava Guru. So very briefly, we are going to discuss. The time is short. Next 5-10 minutes, we'll complete this pastime. So he went and paid obeisances to Keshav Bharati in Katwa. Then he said, the folded hands he offered prayers. O Master, please be merciful to me. You are the most compassionate deliverer of the fallen. Lord Krishna always sits in our heart. Therefore, you are qualified to give me, Krishna, my life and soul. So he starts praising Keshav Bharati and begging him to give sannyas to him. He says that I have no desire other than service of Krishna. Please instruct me accordingly. Please be merciful upon me by giving sannyas ashram and give me Krishna. I do not want anything else. I desire only that Krishna will accept my service. Please bestow that service mercy upon me. So Lord Chaitanya Prabhu was begging Keshav Bharati to give him sannyas. Whereas other side, all the associates of the Lord who all came, suddenly it mentioned by Una Sakura that there are lots of devotees, associates who came to see this particular wonderful pastime, and they were in lakhs of people who assembled there to witness this pastime. So they are all crying, seeing the beautiful face of the Lord and beautiful hair, which they realize that it's not going to be there anymore after once Lord shaves his head. They're all crying heavily. So then he says, Keshav Bharati, he, after hearing the request of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says that he started offering prayer to the Lord. He says that the devotion I have seen today with my eyes is not found in anyone other than the Lord himself. I have clearly understood that you are the spiritual master of the entire world. Therefore, no one is qualified to become your guru. So he was hesitating. He expressed his kind of inability that he initiates sannyas ashram to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that you, my God, you yourself is a spiritual master for the whole universe. How can I do this? The Lord understood. He did a wonderful pastime that time. We are going to see that. And he says, Keshav Bharati says that, yet I think that to teach people in general, you will accept me as your guru. Then Lord says, please do not deceive me. Give me initiation so that I may become servant of Lord Krishna. So Lord understood that Keshav Bharati was hesitating to give sannyas ashram to him. So then what he has done is wonderful. That pastime happens later. So then Lord sits under a tree which is still there today in Katwa. Those who visited, where the Lord has shaven his head under a tree. The tree is still there. And the barber by name Madhu, so he started shaving the head of the Lord. And the whole process of shaving the head of the Lord went on till evening because he was unable to do that. Barber's hands were shaking and he was crying, himself was crying. Says, I can't do this. What I'm doing is not correct. I can't tolerate Lord accepting sannyas. So even the barber who could not handle that, and everywhere ecstasy, people are crying, and somehow or other, in the mellows of ecstatic love, Lord's head was finally shaved by the end of the day. So it took the whole day for the pastime to continue, and finally, end of the day, Lord's head was shaven by the barber. So now is a time for then Lord took bath, and then in the Ganges, then he accepted saffron cloths. Then he has come to Keshav Bharati, and he understood that Keshav Bharati is hesitating. He was very much concerned that how can I initiate sannyas ashram to Supreme Lord, who is the spiritual master for the whole world, whole universe. The Lord understood his heart. Then Lord said, he made a plan. He said, in my dream, some Mahajan appeared to me and spoke some sannyasa mantra in my ear. Then he was telling Keshav Bharati that I got a dream, my dear spiritual master, that in my dream, I heard someone, a great Mahajan, I could not recognize who he was. He came and told this sannyas mantra in my ear. Let me tell you that mantra in your ears and correct me if the mantra is right or not. Then he recited mantra in the ears of Keshav Bharati. So what had happened? Lord Chaitanya Prabhu actually had initiated him, Keshav Bharati. Then he prepared him to. So it's not that Keshav Bharati is giving sannyas ashram to him. Lord has given sannyas ashram to Keshav Bharati. So he recited sannyas mantra in the ears of Keshav Bharati, and then Keshav Bharati was shocked to see the plan of the Lord. And thus the Lord by trickery made Keshav Bharati his disciple. And Keshav Bharati was struck with a great wonder. So Keshav Bharati now he recited again sannyas mantra in the ears of Lord, and then officially he has given the sannyas ashram to him. So the beautiful face of the Lord was more attractive than millions of moons. Very nice description was given about the Lord by Vrindavan Thakura. He says that wonderful sannyasi form of the Lord will be elaborately described by Vedavyasa. So he is Vrindavan Thakura himself is Vedavyasa. So he is referring to a shloka in way which Vedavyasa has recited. So Srila Vedavyasa has described in his Vishnu Sahasranama that Lord appears in one of his incarnations as sannyasi. So he refers that particular shloka here. Sannyasa krichama santo nishtha shanti parayanaha. So this is a shloka, reference of Vishnu Sahasranama, where the reference of Lord accepting sannyasa was already mentioned or predicted. So Lord accepts sannyasa, is detached from sense gratification, is fully surrendered to Krishna, is fully determined to engage in the sacrifice of chanting the holy name of Krishna, and is fully absorbed in Mahabhava, which ridicules the peaceful state attained by non-devotee impersonation. So this was referred by Vrindavan Thakura. So as that fortunate topmost sannyasi was thinking like this, this Keshav Bharati has recited mantra. Now he wants to give a name to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after giving sannyasa ashram. So he was thinking what name I can give. He was, because usually the tradition was that since they were following the Bharati lineage, so all the sannyasis who accept sannyasa ashram will get Bharati name next to their name. But Keshav Bharati was not prepared to give Bharati name, the surname of Bharati to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he knows who Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. So when he was thinking what name he has to give to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Mother Saraswati appeared on his tongue, and then she revealed the name. Selecting the suitable name, the pure-hearted Keshav Bharati placed his hand on the chest of the Lord and spoke. So he kept the hand on the chest of the Lord Keshav Bharati, and Mother Saraswati was speaking on his behalf. He says that you have induced the people of the world to chant the names of Krishna, and by inaugurating the movement of Sankirtana, you have awakened the people's consciousness. Therefore, your name will be Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Because of you, everyone will become fortunate. So, by accepting sannyasa, the glorious Lord thus became famous as Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So that was the pastime which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was exhibited by accepting the sannyasa ashram, and the whole pastime of the student trying to chastise Supreme Lord is all part of the plan of the Lord, that he wanted to come out of this grihastha ashram and take up sannyasa ashram. So then at the end of this pastime, he says, the author, Unnal Sakura says, thus the Lord's acceptance of sannyasa is described in this Madhya Kanda. Whoever hears this pastime will certainly become servant of Lord Chaitanya. By hearing this pastime of the Lord's acceptance of sannyasa in this Madhya Kanda, one will achieve the wealth of Krishna Prema. So that is the wonderful pastime. Very beautiful description was given by Vrindavan Thakura, that whoever hears carefully, reads or meditates this wonderful pastime is sure to get relieved from the miseries of this material world. So this is Falastuti given by the author. So with this, we conclude today's session. If you have any questions or comment, few minutes we can take before we write up the session today. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Nectarian class. The pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he took sannyasa. He has sacrificed beautiful wife, mother, and it was so deep dive into Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime. Thank you. Devotees, any questions, comments, feedback? And those who have joined first time, thank you very much. And the classes are there every Friday, every Saturday, 8 to 9. So please deep dive into the Chaitanya Caritamrta. Thank you. Any questions, comments? Either you can raise hand or directly unmute and speak. And if no comments, questions, then we'll go on to the announcements for next week.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Udar Shyam Das Prabhu. Prabhu, your class was very good, and this pastimes has been here before also. So one thing in this pastime is that Krishna is, or as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so merciful that he sacrificed everything for the benefit of the Jivatma. Although he is Mahatma, he is presenting himself as a devotee. So for that, so it gives one, I think, one message that for Kalyan, or we can say for the benefit of the devotee, is this it gives further that it can be followed for the other also, or to be done by other also, to give a help to them, like senior people or with it, like you can see it in the like Guru Maharaj, other people, to bring closer to the Krishna to them. Like when they have joined initially, people were not accepting the white skin. Even today also, many people are says their white skin, they are not that good, and slowly, although they were in the following much more better way, but they have sacrificed something. The can it be a principle, or it could be a like as a landmark that if you want to give the Krishna prema, and there are people who are offensive, can be given this way, that okay, the person they can be like used as a pathway to the sannyas, and then they can go for that helpful them. It could be possible, or it is just
Prabhu,
a
actually, yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for the question. Actually, um, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu himself has prohibited uh, people taking sannyas ashram in Kali Yuga. Even Prabhupada has mentioned this many times, um, because it is not easy in Kali Yuga to follow the principles of sannyas ashram. So, if you are talking about sannyas ashram, it is not recommended. But if that is a Lord's plan, it can happen. But it is not a kind of a principle that we can follow the footsteps. It's not a principle, but it is what we have to understand here is it is a pastime which Lord wanted to enact, so he did. So for Lord, it is possible, and Lord can make any of his associates to do this pastime, but sometimes it is beyond our understanding. It may happen, like Srila Prabhupada has taken, and he has given to many of his disciples, because he wanted to, though Chaitanya Prabhu has said that it is not um, practical, or it is prohibited in Kali Yuga, but still, why Srila Prabhupada has given is that by understanding the mood of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, he has made sure that the required things were being followed, the principles were being followed by those, and then he has given sannyasam to some of the selected disciples. But in general, it is not a principle that every one of us, be kind of ready to follow that. It is purely a pastime of the Lord. And if, as per his wish, his plan, it can happen. Hope this is clear, Prabhu.
Ji Prabhu, this is correct. Basically, I was having little doubt, so that's why I asked this question, because many people can have a doubt this type. So, although we have not recommended, even the ISKCON, even it's not recommended to be go to the sannyas, because it's not maintained similarly like that. People may think that okay, to reduce the offenses of like senior people or that. So that's good. And another one pastime which has been where we read in a previous class. I read, because I see the recording later. I noticed there is a one lady, Brahmanical lady, comes and she touched the feet of the Lord, and many times, and he become sorrowful, and he goes to jump in a Ganga and wash himself, and then he came up. Will it that also indicate that the parampara, or which I noticed particularly in Mathuradesh, we have that everybody is touching the feet of each other's. What you have any comment?
Yeah, bro, actually, that is
should not be done,
not
right?
recommended
Yeah.
by Acharyas himself. Like last week, Prabhu also mentioned that for a fallen person like me, it is benefit for me to touch the feet of other devotees, but for others, it is not good. So that is the principle behind it. So it is not recommended. So one should not be paying obeisances is fine, but touching the feet better to avoid, because it may give kind of a inconvenience to others. One, for me, it is beneficial because I know I'm fallen. So by touching others' feet, I am definitely getting benefited. The Nitesh Prabhu has very clearly mentioned last week class also. But am I giving that kind of feeling to others? That also not correct.
Yeah.
Who is he touching my feet? That is qualified. I am qualified. So better to avoid all these things. One should avoid touching, taking the dust off from the feet of others, unless others they are our either Shiksha Gurus or spiritual masters. So they know us very well. We know them very well. So then those cases it is fine, but in general it is to be avoided.
Yeah, and because of this, Prabhu, that's why in Balramdesh also we used to pay obeisances together, like Vancha Kalpatubhesche Kripasindhubhesche. But we don't used to, was not allowed to touch, or we don't. So it's like similarly, even females should not do the obeisance to
That
the
is that is
unless they are
completely
Shiksha,
prohibited.
should not come and they should not come too close. That's why. So I have mentioned many times in the chakra. So that's why again raise this one. So I tell them at least don't do with me. So I avoid them. They now understand, but it's clearly mentioned now. This evidence which I got that one. So that's why I raise again. So people should keep in the mind. There is evidence in the Chaitanya Caritamrta, and this is followed by the Mahaprabhu, and we should follow that. We should not do this. So whoever listening should understand these things. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very
And
nicely you
two more
Chaitanya
things.
Bhagavat, and today this was a very nice pastimes. Thank you so much.
So two more things which I wanted to highlight is about Keshav Bharati. Keshav Bharati, in his original Leela, Keshav Bharati is mentioned in Gaur Ganodesh Tipika. Somebody may get a doubt, as I mentioned initially, that who is Keshav Bharati? Why Lord is taking sannyas from follower of Shankaracharya philosophy? So Keshav Bharati is actually, Gaur Ganodesh Tipika says that he is Sandipan Muni is previous Krishna Leela. And also another place in Gaur Ganodesh Tipika is mentioned that he was Akrura. So he is a combination of Sandipan Muni and Akrura is come as Keshav Bharati. So Lord knows about that very well, and he accepted him. Number two is, though he appeared to be following Shankaracharya's lineage, but actually he got initiated by Madhavendra Puri. So his connection is to Vaishnava Parampara. So he got initiated by Madhavendra Puri, and so that is how from there also the connection is there. And third reason why Lord accepted him, though he appeared to be in Vaishnava Shankaracharya philosophy, was that those days people were following or giving a lot of respect to Shankaracharya's disciples of those lineage, so sannyasis. So Lord want to, because the whole purpose of Lord is to bring people towards him. So he used this as one of the tool by accepting sannyas from that lineage. So this is what I missed out. I wanted to add. And one other point which I missed out was that Lord has told Mother Sachi that I will take 2 more incarnations from your womb. So and explained by Unnata Sakura that Lord has given a boon that he takes birth as a holy name. Then he says that you will be the tongue, I will be the name. So the tongue will be chanting. So I will be the name, holy name, and you will be the tongue. And then also he says that I will take birth as a deity form. So you are the Mother Earth. So it means that all the things, the deities, whatever is coming from the earth, he says that you are the Mother Earth and I'll be the deity. So he gives, he tells that 2 more incarnations he refers here. One is a holy name and other one is the deity. So these two, he says that Mother Sachi will be the mother in both the cases. So this one also I slipped out.
So Mother Sachi is like a tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tells that in the Chaitanya Bhagavat it is mentioned.
Okay.
It says, you are the tongue, I will be the name.
I will be the name. Yes, yes.
So when we are chanting the holy name of the Lord, the tongue what is chanting is not a normal tongue. It is the Mother Sachi Devi. So that is the boon which he gives. And then the Lord, so with that consciousness we should have. So the tongue what we have should be used only for Krishna's service. It is not a normal thing. It's the Mother Sachi herself. So that reference was given by Unnata Thakur and Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
So if there are no more questions, we'll end the session here. Nitesh Prabhu. Chaitanya Charitamrta Granth ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananda Kodeshwar ki jai, Gaur Premanande.
So next week's speaker is Her Grace Shripada Radha Mataji. Prabhuji, since Bhadrak Prabhu, since strength is less as you suggested, so Mataji has accepted. Mataji, can we confirm that you will take the class on 23rd? Yeah, she has already WhatsApped me.